5 ways an apprentice fails and how to avoid it.
You're failures! Failure!
You're a huge embarrassing failure.
Failure! Failure!
Okay, number 1, not adapting to the culture of the career. Well, in this case, I'm talking about plumbing. Here's my thing. I love being a plumber. I love the fact that, well, we do a lot of things right. We protect the health of the nation. Have you ever seen that poster? American Standard ended up buying it, but it was a Norman Rockwell. Plumbers protect the health of the nation. That is such a true statement because plumbers help save people's lives each and every day by making sure that good, clean water gets in to where they can eat, drink, wash their hands, and things like that. Bathe, clean, stay healthy. They also make sure the sanitary water, the bad water, gets taken away and it doesn't ever cross, meaning the sanitary water never touches the good, clean, potable water. But taking that culture and understanding, look, we do protect the health of the nation every day. That's really a big deal. You want to believe in that. You want to buy all into it. If you're an electrician, you want to understand, look, we don't clean up after ourselves. It is what it is. Okay, I talk a lot about electricians, but to be honest, they've got their culture too. Whatever trade you decide to get into it and buy into the culture. Understand it, because the culture of the career is what's going to make you really great at what you do. People ask me all the time, what is the trade to get into where I can make the most money? The truthful answer is the one that you love. If you really love plumbing like I do, getting into plumbing was a great thing for me because the more that I found out about it, the more I loved about it, and the more I wanted to learn about it. So adapt to the culture of the career that you're getting into. And before you get into the trade, think about it. Make sure that it's the right trade for you. Now, if you've already subscribed, go ahead and hit that bell notification. That way you don't miss it anytime we come out with a new video like this. Number 2, not working on academic weaknesses. I mean, think about it. We've all got things that we're not great at. Math, learning disabilities, all kinds of different things. But there's nothing in any of the trades, to be honest, that you cannot learn. I mean, you learn to tie your shoes, you learn to ride a bicycle, you learn to drive a car. Why can't you learn something to help you get better at a job? If I needed to get better at math, I would have already sat down and said, okay, look, really, what all do I need to learn? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. It's not really hard. And to be honest, with the phones, the calculators, everything we've got today, it can be done pretty easy. Now, when I was an instructor in the union, I wanted people to learn how to do it on paper. That way, if they don't have their phone with them, their battery dies in their calculator, whatever it is, now they can still work. Learning how to do it and understand the principles behind it, the theories behind it, make it easy. But to be honest, I've sat down with some people that said, look, Roger, I'm horrible at math. But I sat down and showed them how to break it down and make it make sense. Where they're like, okay, that was easy to do. Yes, I completely understand. So whatever academic weaknesses you have, work on them. I love the story of David Goggins. He says, look, I didn't learn like other people. He said, if I wanted to learn what was in a book, I had to sit down and rewrite that book completely. And he says, look, I would have stacks and stacks of notebooks where I had rewritten every chapter, every word, everything in that book. Learn what your academic weaknesses are, and then learn how to learn around them. And number 3, this is a big one. Not pushing a company to register you as an apprentice. To be honest, if you live in a state, you should check. Don't listen to the people that you work for all the time. Contact the AHJ, the authority having jurisdiction. In Texas, it's the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners. If you're working in the trade, contact them and say, look, I want to be a plumber one day. What all do I have to do? Well, in Texas, it starts with registering as an apprentice. So if you're not pushing the company that you work for to register you as an apprentice, you're losing out on valuable hours that could be going towards you becoming a journeyman. Now, a lot of companies don't want their people to learn because they're like, look, as long as you stay an apprentice, I'm going to pay you as an apprentice. But once you get that journeyman level, you can start making more money. And then it's easier to go out and get jobs with other people. You're a licensed professional at that point. But to me, if you're an apprentice and you're not registered, it's hurting you. It's not hurting the company you work for unless they get caught and get fined, but it's hurting you because you're not getting any credit for These months, years, hours, whatever it is you're working are not going towards you becoming a licensed professional. Number 4, no sign of training, education, or progressing in your career. Are you getting better at what you do? When I help people find jobs, I want them to look for a place where they're going to get educated. To me, one of my favorite questions to teach people to ask during the interview process is, when I come to work here, what do y'all do to make me a better plumber? Meaning, what kind of training? What kind of education do I get? Do you have a progression scale? What should I be learning to move up to the next level? You need to ask things like this. When you go out and apply for a job, ask them, do you have any kind of a training program? Do you have if you're a union, you've got the union training program. If you're a company that's a member of PHCC, are they going to send you to the PHCC training? There's a lot of different training places out there that you can come in and get an education while you've got a job. And it may just be the company itself has a training center. We built trainers to train plumbers and apprentices and things like that on. We built a training center here for Leak Pro to bring people in to teach them how to do leak detection. Getting trained, getting educated, and moving up in your career, that's really on you. I know it's the company that provides it, but if you're working for a company that does no training, that does not educate you, and does not let you progress, I'm going to put that back on you because you know what it takes to grow. And number 5, another big one, not having paperwork up to date. When it's time for you to take your journeyman exam, have you already had all your hours signed off on? Or are you going to have to run around and get all this paperwork signed when it's finally time for you to take your journeyman exam? Here's the deal. If you leave a job, carry in the affidavit of hours. You can find it on the Texas State Board of Plumbing's website or whatever AHJ you have in your area. What do you need to get signed off to take your journeyman exam? If an apprentice was leaving me and he came in and said, hey, can I get you to sign off on my hours? Absolutely. I want these young men or young women to become journeymen. And if I sign off on their paperwork, it's great. Not only that, I would keep a copy of it. That way, if 3-6 months later, a year later, whatever it is, by the time they take their exam, they can't find it, that's okay. I can send you another copy of it. Taking care of your people is a big, big deal. But if you're the apprentice and you don't have your paperwork up to date, it's something you may want to look at and do. And I don't just mean your hours. If you've got the supplemental criminal history form, anything like that, do you have the documentation from the state, from your probation officer, from the court, whoever it is saying, look, this young person has done everything that they're supposed to do. There's no reason that they can't go ahead and get their license. Having your paperwork is up to you. So make sure it's something that you do, that you keep up with, and that you're ready for. So when it's time for you to take your test, it's not costing you another week or two because you're running around trying to figure out where all your paperwork is. Keep it up to date, keep it in a file, and be ready. That way, when it's your turn to go, you're ready to roll. Guys, if you like this video or you know someone that's thinking about getting in the trades or already in it, maybe share this video with them. It may be something to help them learn, grow, and have a more professional career.